complex and serious issues that are associated with this case.
The son of filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife appeared in court for the first time today, facing murder charges and saying only 3 words: "Yes, Your Honor." Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Nick Reiner appeared in court wearing shackles and what's known as a suicide prevention smock. As Fox's Ashley Dvorkin reports tonight, he is not expected to enter a plea to murder charges in his parents' deaths until next month.
Mr. Reiner, you have a constitutional and statutory right to a speedy arraignment. Your counsel is requesting that your arraignment be continued to January 7, 2026.
Nick Reiner made his first court appearance Wednesday, but did not enter a plea as his attorney requested a continuance, saying it's too early and he had already agreed with the prosecution to delay until January 7th. The 32-year-old is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the killing of his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, with added special circumstances of multiple murders and the use of a knife. His attorney, Alan Jackson, told reporters after the hearing the request to delay is due to the complex and serious issues associated with the case.
We ask that during this process you allow the system to move forward in the way that it was designed to move forward. Not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity.
Nick Reiner is being charged 3 days after his parents were found dead at their Brentwood home. Today, the Reiner family released a statement to Fox News Digital, saying in part, "Words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we are experiencing every moment of the day. The horrific and devastating loss of our parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, is something that no one should ever experience. They weren't just our parents, they were our best friends." In the statement, they also asked for privacy and for, quote, "our parents to be remembered for the incredible lives they lived and the love they gave." In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Newly released surveillance video shows Nick Reiner shortly before his arrest. Cameras captured images of him coming and going from an LA convenience store on Sunday night. Reiner appeared to stare at a man inside the store. Then he paid for a beverage and left. He paced back and forth across the street from that store for close to an hour before police officers moved in. They approached him and made the arrest. It's unclear still tonight exactly what led officers to his location. And today, authorities revealed more about how Rob and Michelle Reiner were killed. I talked earlier with TMZ's Branson Quirk about the new information that came out from the LA County Medical Examiner.
We do know a little bit more information about the nature of the death of Rob and Michelle as well. The LA County Medical Examiner has released a statement saying that they both had died from multiple sharp force injuries. As we know, they were slashed in the throat, but what is sounding here is that it's a little bit more brutal than we imagined.
Nick Reiner is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder, including a special circumstance allegation of multiple murders, which could make him eligible for the death penalty, although prosecutors in LA County have not said yet whether they will be, in fact, pursuing the death penalty in this case. We turn now to a developing story we've been following all throughout this week in Washington. A new windstorm is causing even more damage across the state. Strong gusts hit Washington overnight, knocking out power to more than 500,000 homes and businesses. This is a complication for some communities already experiencing intense river flooding. One of the areas hit hardest by those winds is Island County, northwest of Seattle, which is outside of those flood zones.
We're really fortunate we have a gas stove so we can stay warm, and we have a gas range so we can cook still and heat water up and that.
Yeah.
We try and make sure that the others in our little community are, everybody's taken care of.
And we are seeing destructive winds even beyond Washington. These are images from Twin Falls, Idaho, showing downed trees and toppled big rig trailers because of those strong gusts. The winds hit parts of Oregon, Idaho, Utah, and Colorado today, causing quite a bit of damage, as you can see. And in Washington, emergency managers are expecting to see floodwaters recede just a bit more by tomorrow. Tonight, Fox 13's Stan Griffin has more from flood victims outside Seattle who understand that the recovery is going to take some time.
All along 68th Avenue South, there's a lot of cleaning up to do. Floodwaters are lurking near and in people's homes, and pumpkins and mangled metal are lining the streets.
Never seen it like this. This is a first here for us, you know.
The flooding around George Kotiga's home in Kent is truly historic.
The water was actually up to those blocks, so that first level of blocks there, and so that's about where it quit, you might say. And then as soon as they closed up the dam, the water started going down pretty fast here then.
His yard is still wet, and not far from it, floodwaters glisten in the sun, serving as a reminder of what was here.
Yeah, we swept all this mud and so on and so forth out of here, and we, like I say,
the water came into his home like an unwanted guest.
we moved all the beds and all the kids' stuff out of here, but you can see it come up into the floors, basically.
And now it means saying goodbye to things he never expected would become destroyed.
Well, we took a lot of the stuff out that we could take out and then try to save what we could save, basically, and then the rest of it, we're just taking it to the dump.
His neighbor, also named George, is just as shocked by the flooding. Water crept closer and closer to his home in an estimated 45 minutes.
As far as we know, for many years, across the street from our 262nd here, that's never been underwater for almost 70, 100 years.
His home was nearly untouched, he says, by a matter of inches. But in a few pictures he shared with us, his cars and his yard were prime targets for wild water.
Our barn's 1.5 foot underwater. The garage is now maybe 7, 8 inches. It was 1.5 foot the other day. It's going down pretty quick, so that's good.
We saw members of FEMA being escorted by law enforcement in the area on Wednesday. They told us they were doing damage assessments, a sign of hope, as both Georges try to figure out what's next.
That's Mother Nature. She's going to dictate what's going to happen to us now, you know, so basically we're just trying to clean up, hopefully we don't get hit again.
In Kent, Dan Griffin, Fox 13 News.
Oh, my heart goes out to all of them. I was once in a flood in Chicago and ended up with 4 inches of rain in my basement. What happens afterwards is the mold. So you really have my heart there because you do have more rain coming. Good evening, everybody. This is our satellite imagery. A little bit of a break in the activity today, anywhere from Washington all the way to Oregon. But look at that. Yes, it's like a fire hose of precipitation. The one thing that is happening is we're starting to see the jet stream surge in a southerly fashion. High pressure is now located more over Southern California. You see the rain gathering off the coast now. We do have a flash flood watch in effect until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for portions of Washington. And then where you see this area, as previously mentioned, it's now a wind event as well. So we have a wind advisory in effect until they've extended it until 10 o'clock tonight now. And then you see also until 10 o'clock tonight a winter weather advisory, mainly because all this rain is turning to sleet and ice and snow, primarily on the western slopes of the Cascades. How much more rain can they expect? Well, now, all the way until Sunday night, another 3.5 inches of rain in throughout portions of Portland, Oregon, over an inch in throughout the Seattle area. And now look what's coming into play. The San Francisco Bay Area, with by Sunday in the city, about 1.25 inches precipitation. Again, all associated with this right here, warm sector. In fact, in the San Francisco area today, rain did arrive after 26 days of a dry stretch, and then a record high temperature was recorded in one of the inland areas of the East Bay of Concord at 67 degrees, shattering the old record of 66 back in 2000. Clouds continue to invade the northwestern section of the state of California. We're now focused in on the high Sierra as we get into that big travel week, heading into Tahoe for Christmas. Near record warm tomorrow. The record is 56 degrees, established back in 2013. Showers and windy conditions on Friday when many people are hitting the roads. And then mostly cloudy on Saturday. And right now it looks like a rain, snow, sleet mix on Christmas Eve today in Seattle. 52 degrees, pretty much where you should be for this time of the year. And in San Francisco, this picture with the fog now beginning to move into the area after the rain at 61 degrees. It was 68 degrees in Los Angeles today with lots of clear skies, and looking out towards Phoenix, 76 degrees, and again a couple of degrees above average for this time of the year. Rain to the north, warm weather to the south, and Denver, what's going on? Where's your snow? 70 degrees by Friday. Alex?
Yeah, that is surprising. Okay, Roberta, thank you. President Trump addressed the nation earlier tonight as he faces some of the lowest approval ratings of his term in office. The president said he has brought positive change to the country, particularly when it comes to immigration.
We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country.
The president's speech comes as a recent Fox News survey found 76% of voters view the economy negatively. That number is up from 67% back in July. President Trump vowed to lower the cost of health care, energy, and housing.
Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong.
And the president also made some news tonight, announcing a Christmas bonus of $1,776 going to each and every member of the U.S. military. The president will be holding a rally in North Carolina this coming Friday before then heading to Florida for a 2-week Christmas break. Up next tonight here on West Coast Wrap, the LA Rams are reportedly dealing with a travel setback ahead of tomorrow's pivotal game against the Seahawks. Up next, what's delaying the team's arrival in Seattle? Plus, see how a giant Santa is stirring up controversy in one Colorado neighborhood. Powerball players are hoping to rake in more than $1 billion tonight. The jackpot for a drawing that's set to happen about 45 minutes from right now is up to $1.25 billion. That's around $572 million for a single winner who chooses to cash out with a lump sum. Powerball tickets cost you $2 each, and you can buy one in all West Coast states with the exception of Hawaii, Alaska, Nevada, and Utah. And your odds of winning, about 1 in 292 million. Well, tonight, the California DMV is accusing Tesla of false advertising. This week, a judge ruled the company's marketing around its autopilot system is deceptive and actually puts customers at risk. As KTVU's Jesse Gary reports tonight, the move potentially could lead to a ban on all Tesla sales in California.
For a decade, Tesla has sold drivers on the vision its vehicles can nearly drive themselves. This week, the California Department of Motor Vehicles threatening to ban sales of the electric car in California because officials say the marketing of that feature is deceptive.
Most people wouldn't think about the DMV intervening in something as substantial as Tesla sales, but the reality is that that's part of the DMV's remit.
The department saying in part after an administrative law judge's decision, Tesla's use of the terms autopilot and full self-driving capability to describe its vehicle's advanced driving assistance features is misleading and violates state law.
In the hopes that Tesla will alter their behavior with respect to the misleading statements.
As Fox 2 showed viewers in 2016, the autopilot feature controls the vehicle, using sensors to maintain lane integrity and speed. But driver attention is still required.
There are some Tesla drivers who have not understood that or who have been lulled into a false sense of security.
Several high-profile fatal crashes, including this one on Highway 101 in 2018, forced Tesla to lower expectations and clarify what autopilot can do and how it's to be used safely. In a response to the DMV threat, Tesla posted to X, this was a consumer protection order about the use of the term autopilot in a case where not one single customer came forward to say there's a problem. Sales in California will continue uninterrupted. Wednesday, while charging their vehicles, some Tesla owners said they were never under a false illusion about the full self-driving feature.
You still need your two hands, right? If you don't put your two hands on the steering wheel, you're gonna get a strike because they push you to.
The potential ban also carries a political component. California Governor Gavin Newsom has waged a months-long war against President Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
It's good for him politically. It puts California back up on the national radar as being in opposition to Tesla, which is associated with Elon Musk, which is associated with Doge and President Trump.
Late Wednesday, the governor's office saying the DMV's threat was, quote, made independently from our office.
Tesla can appeal or change the wording around autopilot. The DMV is giving it 30 days to respond, and if it doesn't like what it hears, 60 days after that, the ban would go into effect. In Fremont, Jesse Gary, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
We have an update tonight on a Bay Area sex abuse lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. A federal judge in San Francisco dismissed a suit that was filed by a woman in Orinda in the East Bay named Ashley Parham. She alleged the rapper and a group of his friends raped her 7 years ago. The judge dismissed the case, saying Parham had not served all of the defendants she accused in the suit. Serving needs to happen within 90 days of filing the lawsuit. This case was filed back in October of 2024. The judge did side with Parham, denying a motion from Odell Beckham Jr.'s legal team that wanted to see Parham sanctioned. There is still an option for Parham to refile in this case. All right, if you're planning to fly over the holidays, the TSA says you should be prepared for some busy airports. Here's a live look tonight at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, where more than 2.5 million travelers are expected to come and go between tomorrow and January 4th of next year. AAA predicts air travelers will set a record for this year, with the number of people flying up by more than 2% compared to last year. TSA agents say getting to the airport early is the key to ensuring you get through security screening without missing a flight. Now, if you don't have a real ID or passport, expect TSA agents to spend more time clearing you to fly.
TSA has begun enforcement of the Real ID Act. Many of you know that last May we changed some procedures at the checkpoint to help enforce the provisions of that act. We think it has had a positive impact across the country as we greatly reduce the number of non-compliant IDs that we're seeing at the airports. And nationally, that number is around 5%.
The number of travelers is not the only thing increasing this year. Prices are also up, with domestic flights averaging about $900 apiece. That's a 7% jump compared to last year. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, basketball fans feeling more optimistic about the NBA potentially expanding to Las Vegas, how the recent NBA Cup championship in the city may factor into that decision in the future. Also, we'll explain why Santa trades his red suit for blue in one part of the West.
It's kind of no-brainer. You know, we raise some money and then we give back to the community.
The LA Rams are getting a late start on travel to Seattle for a pivotal game against the Seahawks tomorrow night. ESPN is reporting the team's plane had an equipment issue this afternoon. That forced players and coaches to leave later than they had planned. The rest of the Rams staff will arrive on another plane. The Rams and the Seahawks stand at 11-3 right now, but the Rams beat the Seahawks earlier this season, giving LA an edge for that #1 spot in the NFC West. Tomorrow night's game, though, could change that if the Seahawks are able to come out on top. Well, on the heels of Las Vegas playing host to the NBA Cup championship, some basketball fans are feeling pretty good about the chances that the league will expand in that city. Last night, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver spoke about Las Vegas as a potential market.
WNBA team here in Las Vegas and the Aces. We've been playing the Summer League here for 20 years. We're playing our Cup games here, so we're very familiar with this market. I don't have any doubt that Las Vegas, despite all the other major league teams that are here now, the other entertainment properties, that this city could support an NBA team.
The commissioner says Seattle is another potential market for expansion. A decision about the next city to get a team is going to be made sometime next year. Well, some big entertainment news coming just in time for the awards season. After decades of airing on ABC, the Academy Awards is moving to YouTube in 2029. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences announced today the marquee event will depart ABC after the 100th ceremony. YouTube will retain global rights to streaming the Oscars through the year 2033. The YouTube deal marks the first of the big four, the Oscars, Grammys, Emmys, and Tonys, to completely give up broadcast. Warner Brothers Discovery is rejecting that multi-billion-dollar takeover bid from Paramount Skydance. The California entertainment giant says a rival offer from Netflix is better for shareholders. Paramount offered $108 billion, or $30 per Warner share. The bid from Netflix is $72 billion, or just under $28 per share. In a letter to shareholders, the Warner board says Paramount's offer is, quote, inferior and misleading. It claims that offer relies heavily on borrowed money, whereas the Netflix offer is backed by a company worth more than $400 billion. Any deal to purchase Warner Brothers will need FCC approval. Well, one Southern California police officer is helping Santa to spread some holiday cheer by trading his police uniform for a blue Santa suit. Fox's Nick Garcia has more tonight on this operation that's aimed at bringing Christmas to kids in need.
The reindeer are busy up at the North Pole, so the El Monte Police Department's Blue Santa hitched a ride in a helicopter.
I'll be flying in with the LA County Sheriff's Department air support.
That's El Monte Police Detective Adam Gergel putting on the blue suit for the second year to give back to families in need. Here you see him landing at the San Gabriel Valley Airport, ready to hit the neighborhoods.
We realize, you go to radio calls and you see what kind of current issues our citizens face. So it's kind of no-brainer. We raise some money and then we give back to the community.
Wonderful. It's a beautiful gift for my grandkids. Thank you very much.
Each of the 35 families hand-selected because of their specific needs.
We have a grandfather, 71 years old, who took custody of his 3 grandbabies and said to me, look, I'm starting over at 71, but I'm not about to let my grandbabies be raised in foster care.
Santa's sleigh, actually a SWAT Bearcat, loaded with more than toys and goodies. Families will also receive food, grocery gift cards, and some will receive grants.
And then a check for $500.
Oh my God. It means a lot because my electricity, I was scheduled to be disconnected, so I'm going to be able to pay it.
Blue Santa represents all his brothers and sisters in blue in their effort to give back.
Especially with everything going on the past year, the immigration, the benefits being cut. We just want to let you know our department supports the community, and we're giving back to the community that supports us.
Nick Garcia, Fox News.
A big difference in the community. All right, finally tonight, a giant 28-foot inflatable Santa is causing quite a stir in one Colorado neighborhood. This is happening in the town of Severance. Dora Flores and her family say their local HOA sent them a letter telling them they needed to take down the giant Santa because it exceeded height regulations. The letter threatened fines if the family didn't take Santa down, so they complied. But once the neighborhood noticed, they got involved creating a social media campaign and reaching out to community leaders to get the Jolly Giant off of the naughty list.
I did receive a call from the upper management of our HOA apologizing and letting us know that we can keep Santa and that it was a mistake on their behalf.
I love the outcome. I'm love that we came together. I'm love that Santa is staying.
Flores says the giant Santa will remain in their backyard through Christmas. The community standing up for Santa there. All right, that does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always. Have a great night.